Boom! Welcome back to Johnny Custom Glock's Front Seat Press. You okay over there?
You scare me every time, man. Every time. Very intimidating.
It is. When I watch a show, I get scared when I do it too. So don't, I'm just saying, I know how you feel.
You're a very scary persona.
Way over there. High five.
Home. Nice. Got it.
So, welcome back to Johnny Custom Glock's Front Sight Press.
What's up?
Where, as always, or almost always, it is Jeff, Julie, and myself. So,
because you're a high-speed motherfucker.
There it is. I gotta watch that video again. That's a funny video. All right. So tonight, tell them what we're talking about, Jeff.
I don't know. What are we talking about? I asked you what we were going to talk about. Everybody apparently doesn't know the calendar because we were all prepared to talk conspiracies, and then we realized next week is conspiracy week.
The last Thursday of the month.
All of our prep meeting went out the window. So I don't know. We'll make some shit up like we always do. I'm sure we can figure it out.
We're gonna wing it. We can talk about the simulator a little bit.
We can't take too long though, because Kamala is doing her acceptance speech tonight. So we need to get out of here in time so we can get home and get settled in to watch that speech.
Yeah, because that's what I'm gonna do. Here's the deal.
Saying, that could be your next president of the United States, Madam President, and you're not even going to watch.
We got to elect her so that she can fix all the stuff that she has been in office for. Right? What is it? Elect me to office so I can fix all the stuff I've been in office doing, or something like that. Whatever. I don't want to talk about her. I'd rather hit myself in the fucking head with a hammer right now, and I get a headache. So. But like it, share, and comment. How many you got watching? We got anybody watching yet?
Probably not. Darn.
13. Left already.
What? I picked up all those subscribers on YouTube, and none of them are watching the live show. That's just crazy. They're gonna have to come around. They're gonna have to come around. Because that's half the fun of being on the show or being a subscriber is to watch the live streams.
That's right.
Ah, there you go. There's one watching. It says it's probably me. Yeah. Anyway. All right.
So, like and share, and comment. All right, go over to Jeff, Musings with MGL, because I know everybody that's watching is subscribed. And if you could go over there, either sometime, if you're not watching on YouTube, go over there tomorrow or something like that and put in a comment. Just the more comments he has, doesn't matter what the comment says. What I do is, every week, it'll come up on my feed. I'll go over there and watch the video, whatever Jeff's got for a video, and just put great video, every time, just to make sure I got a comment and stuff like that.
Yep, that works. Any comments down below, but I tend to somewhat stay out of the comment section to some extent, because I'll go in there and it'll be like, great video, everything's great. You're a freaking moron and should go back to law school because you don't know what you're talking about. And then, of course, I just lose my shit and everything kind of goes down there the hill from there. So I got to get much like on the shooting range, I got to get a thicker skin.
His neighbor's cousin is a cop, and he knows what the law is. So you should go back to law school.
Yep, I heard somebody else
he's watched
didn't say that was true. Or that's
Perry Mason. He knows.
That's not what that word in the statute means, despite the fact that you actually quoted the quoted the exact statute. So yeah, it's kind of weird. I have this one video right now that's kind of blown up. It's top 5 most important gun laws in Florida. It's got 113,000 views on it, 736 comments. So it's hard to keep up with 736 comments. And yeah, every now and then, about every like 40th comment, there's a jackass. So I try and stay out of there. It is cool when I had like 5 or 6 comments, because they're usually people with actual questions. Like I'm not saying I only want praise. I don't want criticism. Give me criticism. That's fine. But they're usually questions. So I could go in there and like answer questions or whatever. But then when you get into that many comments, you usually get, the jackasses or whatever. So I'm trying to stay away from a little bit more these days. So you can message me directly if you're in this group, in our tight little group, if you have questions. But yeah, my channel kind of blew up over that all of a sudden. Now I have 4,499 subscribers all of a sudden. I went from like 1,000 to 4,999 or something like that, or 4,449. So now we need to get 500 subscribers so I can hit 5,000. That would be pretty cool. So go like, share, subscribe, and get on it.
Let me ask you this: you were on the Shark Coast podcast with Will, right?
Yeah, I did his podcast a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Was that from your desk, or did you go there?
No, he does one at his shop. So he is a guy that comes into his shop and brings all of the stuff, and him and like three of his employees. It's always them, and then they try and bring in a guest. So like last night or the night before, Johnny Glock was on there as a guest, and they were asking him a bunch of questions. And last night they had me. So no, he just has a guy that comes to the shop and brings all the equipment, sets everything up right there. You sit in chairs right behind his gun display case, and then we just shoot the shit for like 2 hours. And I think he does that every Tuesday. I want to say every Tuesday. So yeah.
So you were there or you weren't?
Yes. No, I was there. I went to his shop.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I went to his shop and sat next to him and the other guys that work for his shop. And the guy brings all of his equipment and then just tapes it. It's not live stream like us. So they tape it and then they upload it later to TikTok and all of his different sites.
Yeah, I didn't know they were doing a podcast, and all of a sudden I noticed it, and then I saw you were going to be on it.
Yeah.
So I started following it, so I should start getting something from it.
Yeah, I didn't know that he did either until he just messaged me out of the blue and asked me to be on there, and then so I went on there and got on there. And yeah, I think that he does most of his like on TikTok. I don't really think he does them on Facebook because the algorithm kind of shuts it. Because they do straight up all gun stuff, and of course it's hardcore gun stuff and everything else. So I think they kind of get shut down on the Facebook page, and I don't know if he has a YouTube channel or they give him the same problem. So for him, it sounds like it's mostly TikTok, but they get like hundreds of thousands of views on all of their podcast videos. So it's a really good thing. So people should go check it out. Shark Coast Tactical over on TikTok. If you have TikTok, they've got some pretty cool podcasts they do over there every week. Like I said, Johnny Glock was on there a couple nights ago.
Are you on TikTok?
I am not.
No, I'm not. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's do the toast, and then because we're burning up most of the show. We can burn it up after the toast. So let us spank our sponsors. All right. First of all, our king sponsor, got it, Johnny Custom Glocks, because life is way too friggin' short to have a Glock trigger that sucks. So get yourself a Johnny Custom Glock trigger. We were in there. We were in class today. We had instructor class for the simulator this week, right? And the guy was saying, "What is Johnny Custom Glocks?" I'm like, "You got like 5 Glocks. And you don't know what Johnny Custom Glocks is?" He goes, "No." So I got Yogi's friggin' G48 and brought it over and said, "Here, try this." And he's like, "Oh," I go, "What's the matter? Your trigger's not like that?" He's like, "My trigger's not even close to that." I go, "Try the reset." He goes, "Wow, that's short." I'm like, "That's a trigger." He goes, "We got to talk. Like, how much are these?" And then he just, right in the middle of class, just went on his phone. He's like, "Wow, these things are like $200." I'm like, "They're worth every freaking penny at $200."
Sure, yeah.
He goes, "I got to get one of these." You know, like he was just freaking floored. But he was a really cool guy. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right. Also, we'd like to thank the man, the legend, the myth, Sean Hilton at smokeshow3d.com for always hooking us up with the cool things. And we'll be giving away one of these tonight. The Glock Armorer's Block. All right, these things are awesome. If you do not have one yet, just go friggin' buy one. All right, we're only giving away one a week. Not everybody's going to get one. I mean, right now, you could probably go to like mariameset.com and she's got like a plethora of stuff because she's been freaking winning everything lately.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, like, share, and comment. All right, let us know if you liked and shared because, if you shared because it doesn't always tell us. All right. Also, do we got a magazine? Is that what we got? We got any other little magazines left? No, we got to talk to Sean about that. Yeah, all right. We're also going to give away a mug because we got a case of them over there.
Okay.
So we got to figure out how many people got mugs and get them the mugs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So do we have one of those mugs?
Got one on the table.
Is that which one is it?
Oh, I thought I saw one up here. Yeah.
Let me see.
Yep.
So it's got the Mad Dog McGowan on one side and the American flag, Veritas on the other. Okay. So we'll be giving one of them away. And we will be giving away, I got to move this thing, 2 chances, not one, but 2 chances, right, to win. 2 chances to take a chance at winning a hour on the simulator, which we are about to talk about in a second. All right, because it has been a pretty good friggin' week with that amazing machine. I ain't lying to you. One, I found out what it really cost, and it wasn't what I thought it cost. It was $16,000 more than what I thought it cost.
Oh.
But it is absolutely friggin' ridiculous. All right, so tonight's toast is sponsored once again by the Big B, Vern, and his family's distillery.
Vern is on and Kat is on.
Yeah, Vern is on because you know what? I finally got him the information so he could get on because Kat has been had him in prison, had him in Facebook prison and wouldn't let him watch it himself.
So this is what he says. This is Vern. I got on.
And this is the Vern. Vern, come over and help me out at the house, guys. Amazing.
He is great.
Right? All the Varels are just awesome.
Atlanta's on. Corey's on.
Lana just did an amazing job. Like today we were doing simulators and competition, and she was just tearing up. The instructor was quite impressed.
Mm-hmm. She didn't miss. She was
with
good.
The Self-Defense Emporium Veritas family, I'll tell you that. He's like, hey, I want to shoot with you guys, and hey, can I come down and hang out and maybe help teach classes and stuff like that when I'm free? And it's like, yep. All right, so it was a very cool week. All right, so everybody get their glass. We're using, all right, or where to go? I got to go this way.
Go back the other way.
Our titanium training weird glasses, all right, that I learned are not like shot glasses, so you can't pour this much in it, right? Because when I poured it, the guy looked, he goes, you may want to pour some of that out. I'm like, no, it's okay. Then I figured, I don't know what's wrong with his glass, but that's like 48 ounces or something like that. It was a very strong shot.
Yeah.
When you got to swallow 3 times to get it down, I was like, holy crap. He's like, yeah, it's not a shot glass.
It says TI on it.
There it is. They were very good to us out there, and they've been very good to us this week. All right, so get your glasses. All right. The toast is alcohol, because no good story ever started with somebody eating a salad. That's good. But
left.
Why is there so much in this tiny little glass? I'm like, 1, 2, 2.5. I didn't pour that much in there.
Thank you, Vern.
That stuff is awesome, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Need to go get yourself some of this.
Abuelo.
It is very good. This is the 12-year stuff, so it's like a couple more years. That stuff be old enough to vote. That is good.
Yeah.
Man, that's such a great flavor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. That should get rid of that. So, Jeffrey, what have you been up to this week?
Not a whole lot. A few different. My schedule was kind of light this week. I had some office appointments, a couple of court things. Nothing gun related. Just standard shit. Working out. Kids going to school. The oldest one's going back to USF starting tomorrow for her junior year. So we were finishing up all that kind of packing and getting her out of the house. Nothing exciting. What about you?
We had, like I said, we had the TI training guy, Ray, just an awesome instructor, really awesome guy too. Just really hoping that we can get him to be part of the family. You know what I mean? He just fits in so well. It was really cool. Came in Monday, started setting up. Tuesday, he set up the frame, and then Tuesday set up everything else, computer, wired it, stuff like that. Just like you can tell the guy's done it a couple times, or
Just a few.
165
Right.
actually. Just setting everything up. Like he's done this like all over the country. I mean, all over the world, and like his forte is teaching. He was a firearms instructor for a police department up in Connecticut, and then he went on to be like, I think he was the director of training for Taser, right, for a bunch of years, and then left there and went to TI, and just a great guy, just like a lot of fun to be around, very knowledgeable, as took a lot of notes on things that he said, how he said it, and stuff like that. Like took a lot of notes about the system, because the system is just like when we open the doors for that system, it is insane. All right, like I can't. I know every time I get on it, I'm like, you won't believe how good this freaking system is. Like it's just, it's you won't believe how good this freaking system is. It's just ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. Every time you learn something. What were they doing today? They were shooting the FDLE handgun qualification. Yeah. There's like just so many things. You showed us how to track every shot. Like the new technology is you shoot and then you go to the debrief, because one of the biggest things about the system is the debrief. Okay. Excuse me. You got to debrief on everything. Why'd you do this? How come you did it? You know, whatever. So it's going to be huge, Jeff, when we're working together on this, and we start talking about legally, what did you do? What are your, the ramifications? Stuff like that. Like, could you do it? Could you not do it? What's going to look like in court? Stuff like that. When we be able to put class like that together, it's just going to knock the shit out of anything else that's going on. I mean, it is like the. When he showed us how to track a bullet, like in this one part, you go to your debrief and you hit zoom, and it follows the bullet all the way to where it stops, and it was like, yep, that's important. You know what I mean?
You can see where you missed, or
yep,
where it finally hit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this: when you hit, it shows you. Like we got it set up because. Like he even mentioned that he hates when you can see the round's impact on the screen.
Right.
Okay. So he never uses that, and I never want to use it because I don't want people to video game it. Oh, look, I'm moving it around. You know what I mean? Like you shoot and you miss. You don't know where it's going. Tough shit. You should be using your sights. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Well, if it's like if it's like a video game where you can see your dot and know exactly if you're on the guy's forehead, that doesn't help you in real life.
So like, but in the debrief, you always see where your hits are. Like it'll show you where
on the backside, right? Yeah, after it's over, yeah.
But you can't zoom. the new technology they got, they put it in an app, and like it just everything just comes in. It's just woof like that. It just follows the bullet, and then it's got a red spot where that bullet stopped, which is really freaking cool. And I was about losing my mind when I said it, because my mind starts racing about everything we'll be able to do with it. You know, we used some of the recoil kits. So we got an AR set up. We got one of Julie's 320 set up with the gas kit in it, so you get actual recoil. It's really cool because they run off the CO2s. Like what we should have got is we should have got the chargeable ones. You can just hook it up to a tank and fill it up. Yeah. But we're learning as we go. So the handgun only has one CO2 bottle in it, right? The ARs have two, so you get recoil good enough to move your sights when you're shooting and stuff like that. So it was really pretty cool. I'm stuck. Here we go. The laser guns are good. We need to get a laser gun with a red dot on it. All right, and that'll be at the top of the list for stuff. We need to get a recoil kit for a Glock, but that's coming. But everything that thing does, and like I could tell you that this time, working on it, what I really picked up with it and the light that we had it in, because we had like too much light compared to out there when they have it all dimmed down so that you can see the video better, I noticed that with a laser pistol, you can really see what you're doing wrong. So you can really see where your sights are. You can really see if you're not looking at your sights. I mean, it is just a great tool. 2 years ago when we saw this and we decided that that's what we were going to get, we wanted the system to do stuff like the scenarios and like so you and I could work together and stuff like this. Since I saw it for the first time, that's what the plan was. This time I realized what an awesome tool it is for the basics, right? And
right.
Learning how to shoot faster, and it like every time I get on the trigger on that machine, I just get more ideas, and I just get like overwhelmed in how like incredible of a system it really is. Funny thing is, I can't remember who I was talking to. I think I was talking to Nate. I think it was Nate last night. No, this morning. And he says, "Well, is it good enough for law enforcement to use?" And I was like, "Motherfucker!" I'm like, that's what it is. It's a law enforcement system.
Right.
Law enforcement
for them, right?
like,
yeah.
When they see us, they right, they fucking know about it, right? They're like, "Oh, you commercial guys are so cute, and you're wanting to have a real system." You know what I mean? Like, they're so awesome to us, but these guys are doing military and law enforcement all over the friggin' world. You know what I mean? It's
right.
not like they've been around for almost 19 years. This system gets better every friggin' second, So we've been.
Well, yeah, and it'd definitely be good to run a whole scenario, and then you do a shoot, don't shoot from a tactical standpoint, and then you can also add in shoot, don't shoot from a legality standpoint too. So it'd be a good dual system for sure.
Let me know as soon as you can get on that thing. All right. Because like in your mind right now, you have an idea what this thing can do. Okay. And here's what I'm going to tell you. You're fucking wrong. You have no fucking idea what this thing can do.
Don't have an idea.
It's like this. My cousin KB, right? I've been sending him videos. We've been talking about this. I'm explaining it to him. And then he's coming in. I go, "You ready to see the beast?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he opens up the curtain. He steps in. He goes, "Oh, my God." I'm like, "Yeah, it's not what you thought." He goes, No, it's so big. Like,
that's what she said.
Yeah. Like, it is just like it is so fucking cool. Like, I can't, just let's get the doors open. You know what I mean? It is way more useful than what I thought it was. And I thought it was so unbelievable. And it's like every time I click on something, they show me something or something like that, it's just like, you know what we can do with this? I mean, it's just friggin' ridiculous. I had Mark come in, right? And I'm like, what do you think? He's like, wow, this is something. I go, it's not what you thought, is it? He goes, nope, not what I thought. I'm like, it's hard to explain how friggin' awesome this system is. And people's like, well, you shouldn't say that because, you get people's hopes up. Good luck. Good luck. You have no friggin' idea what this thing does. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'd like to thank
Looking forward to it.
Vern Stanley for getting rid of my headache.
There you go.
So it's going to be great. It's going to be great for all of us. We will do a show there. So we'll have 2 shows coming up next month. So I'm putting it in stone right now. All right. Next month, we will do a show at Salt of the Earth. And we'll do a show at the Emporium in the simulator room. All right. That's
that. That Salt of the Earth is getting around because I was at dinner with my cousins the other night, and they started telling me about it. They're like, "Oh, there's this new place, and it's the Salt of the Earth, and you go in there, and they have all these things." And I was like, "Oh, as a matter of fact." So I told them all about how we're going to do a show from there in the future, and I know all about it, and we're going to maybe start partnering up with them or whatever. So they were kind of excited about it. So it's getting around. So it's not just us. So hopefully we'll be able to.
This is what we're going to do.
Give them some publicity.
We're gonna take that and we're gonna bring it into the gun world. All right. So first of all, we're gonna bring it into my world. All right. So I'm gonna do. The goal is this. The goal is to do a bunch of treatments. Okay. Before a match.
All right? That makes sense. I was gonna say. I was like.
Or we simulate a match. All right. Of what I would have to do to go to a match. All right. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to compare how I did after that to how I did in Maine. Because when I got up to Maine, even though, like, I would say the weather conditions were ideal while we were shooting. Would you say that? You agree with that?
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yeah.
I mean, it was beautiful, right?
Yeah.
But flying around, all the flying around we did, all the classes we did, all the rain that we had down here in the storms, and it just tore me up, and I just couldn't function.
Right.
So we're going to see if using the system there and then going to shoot, which will probably be a simulated match, all right, if that changes how I perform. Because here's what I'm saying. If I could perform just a little bit better on the trigger, all right, I wouldn't be finishing in stupid ass second place. So I just want to see what it can do, that, and I got to get my eyes done. I got to be able to see. Shooting without being able to see kind of sucks.
But, yeah, that's probably a main factor, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you still got a second. So you can't see and you can't move your trigger finger real fast. So, yeah, those two combined.
Saying I may be able to do better.
Up with shitty ass second place with that, right? Yeah, I don't have either of those problems, and I was like 16 out of 30. So go figure.
In your first match, motherfucker, just stop.
Well, I'm just looking forward to hanging out in the salt thing because it sounds pretty cool. Now my cousins and them, they didn't really know what it was, so I was trying to explain it to them too because they were also picturing like a steam room full of salt or whatever. And I was trying to explain to them, no, it's like a bed maybe that you lay on or whatever. So yeah, we need to get the word out about that.
This is what I get when I go there. Okay, so the first thing I get is the booth. So like I said before, they got like this space age looking booth, and you sit in there and they pump in salt water. And what she does for me is she pumps in CBD.
Yeah.
So I get salt air and CBD into the booth.
Whoa, you can't have CBD in there because that makes you a prohibited person. You can't have a firearm.
It's not CBD. It's not. No, there's no. What is it? What's in marijuana? That
THC.
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 See, you're an attorney. You should know better.
Cannabinoid.
CBD.
C. It's the first word. Cannabinoid. Cannabinoid. It's the first word. 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 Cannabinoid. THC is the medical,
Right, it's in hemp.
or is the whatever, but C is the cannabinoid. I'm not saying that it does. I would know. I don't use any of it, but
My attorney, you certainly argue with me a lot.
saying you want to be a prohibited person at the Salt Lake place, then that's on you. Nah, I wouldn't.
All right.
No, CBD's okay. So anyway, so you go in there, and so, but I don't understand. Does it spray on you? Do they rub it on you? Is it just
you sit in there and it's got a machine that pumps it in. It pumps it into the little phone boothy thing.
Okay.
Plus, they got lights. They got different type of like lights.
It's like
Right.
blue when they go.
Yeah, it does something, whatever. Like I get in there and I'm uncomfortable no matter where I go, and I get in that chair and I'm very uncomfortable. And then within like 3 minutes, I'm like, oh. Then I choke myself out and I wake back up like, huh? It's like, wah. Like I'm just, like I'm dreaming, like I'm in deep, deep sleep sitting up, and that's almost impossible for me unless I'm like this, you know? And then, so what they have is they have like a big room that's got like 8 chairs in it. And the whole room is a booth, a giant friggin' room, you know. And then they have they got a dual booth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they got a big like
it's like a bench that
like
in a big room.
Yeah, like a rectangle. You're sitting inside this booth, so it's like a double booth for 2 people.
Yeah.
And then you have all the mats. So they do a lot of infrared stuff. So they got like a salt bed. You know, they got a couple salt. They got like a salt bed.
That's my favorite one.
That's the one. That's Julie does.
And the salt is nice and warm. And then they put infrared lights on parts of my body that are really hurting and need healing. And you're in there for 20 minutes, and they have nice soft music. And I go to
and you're just laying on a big bed of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's like sand.
Yeah, you squish down into it.
Right. Okay. So it covers your body.
No,
you're just laying on top. They put like a thing down and like like picture on being a towel on the beach.
Yeah,
right.
Squish around.
Okay.
Like that, but it's like this. Like you got to understand that I'm in so much pain that I'm never comfortable. That's why I have the pillow. That's why I keep moving all the time because it hurts, right? And I can go there and like I'm asleep because it's got me. The second it gets me comfortable, my body just shuts off. And I go to sleep because I'm so friggin' tired from not sleeping, you know. And then when I get up, I feel better. Like, and nothing makes me feel better. Or I won't say nothing. I'll say there's very little that actually makes me feel better. And you know, it's always just a good trip down there. But it heals everything. You know, one, it's like athletes. Like if you're playing sports, if you go in there and get that salt, it opens up your lungs. Okay. It opens up your lungs. It opens up your pores. It helps your blood flow better, you know, stuff like that. It just does stuff to you that's very important to your health. You know what I mean? I wish it was up here because if it was up here, I'd be there every friggin' day, you know. But she wants to beta test me, and like we talked and said, this is what we can do. And she said, all right. So what we'll do is we'll do it for like a week straight, and then on a weekend, we'll go simulate a match, and we'll see how I do. See if I did better than I did up in Maine.
Well, you're definitely a beta, so that makes sense.
Yeah. We'll just leave that one alone.
Yeah.
Cool. No,
here's the deal. I've been with 3 of the girls all week, or for the last couple of days, and it's just like, I'm like, don't say stuff. You're gonna encourage them. Just don't. So it was a lot of fun. But we're gonna have with these 2 things. I think we can help a lot of people, whether it's physically and mentally, or you know, technically, or whatever. You know, I mean, I think we can put them together and hopefully get things going. You know, we're gonna really try to bring the Team Veritas back, especially, you know, with help from the Emporium, and get that up to the insane level that it once was, where it was everybody hated us because there were so many of us. Like when you go to a match and the knuckleheads there that don't understand what the match is because they work, you know, for the range, and they've never done GSO7. They're like, there's so many of you people, like, you're clogging everything up. It's like, that's the idea, is to have more friggin' shooters numbnuts. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, my favorite line, though, is Bailey, when she was, 16 or whatever, she went to her first match, her and her brother, and I called her and I said, so how was the match? Right? She goes, oh, it was amazing. It was so good. Blah, blah, blah. She goes, it's really cool wearing this shirt, though, because we're everywhere. Like, everywhere we go, there's more of us. I'm like, yeah.
More of us there.
Like, at one point in time, we were 20 to 25% of the entries in the state of Florida. Out of the whole friggin' state, out of all the matches combined, we were 20 to 25%. You know, so we need to get back up to that type of level where we're doing things together. We're having team parties, team barbecues, you know, stuff like that. We go on trips together. We just need to get it back up to that level. We got to figure out how to, like, break up into, instead of all being in one group. I do understand that does clog up the lanes, but
Yeah.
so break everybody up and go your own way, because, you know, one, I don't have to babysit. But that's what we're going for. Yes, it's
Salting and shooting.
thank you. There it is, salting and
2
shooting.
S's. Salting and shooting. I like it.
We get some new team shirts and shit like that, so it should be good. So anything going in on the law?
So I did have. You asked earlier if anything happened exciting this week. It wasn't this week. It was actually late last week, but I just remembered it. It's actually kind of a weird little courtroom story. So I had a client back in the day recently who got a firearm charge. Now, I'm going to start off this story by giving everybody a warning, because a lot of people don't know this. Do any of you have those little things that go around your license plate, like those little license plate square things that say, you know, Tampa Bay Buccaneers or Live Strong or Jeff Gordon or any of that kind of stuff?
Jeff Gordon.
But you know what I'm talking about, right, though?
Yeah.
Everybody, like basically everybody on the planet has one of those. You buy a freaking car and the dealership's got one that says, you know, Matthew Curry Ford or whatever around it, okay? Those are illegal in Florida. You cannot have those. The statute says no part of your license plate can be blocked. So anybody who's driving around with one of those is committing 24 hours a day a traffic violation that is pull overable by law enforcement. So that's just a warning to everybody, because a lot of people don't know that, because again, they give them away for free when you buy your car. But what law enforcement does is, if they want to pull you over, like they've identified you for whatever reason, you look like you're suspicious, usually it's because you're, you know, a minority of some sort, or you look like a biker or something like that, or for whatever reason, they draw your attention to you, or you draw their attention to them, and they want to pull you over, and they get behind you, and boom, you got one of these things on your license plate, they pull you over. So my client's driving down the road in his car, he's got one of those on, and gets pulled over. Long story short, because the facts of the case aren't really important, but he ends up getting charged with a firearm charge. He had a AR in his car, so there were 2 charges. Again, I'm trying not to get bogged down, but there was a concealed carry firearm charge because he had his gun tucked under his seat, not in a securely encased, and he didn't have a license at the time, so you're not allowed to carry that way. You can now that the law has changed, but this was right before the law changed, so he was carrying that wrong, and then he had a rifle in the back seat, openly carried, which is legal, in my opinion, and most lawyers' opinions in the state of Florida. So he gets pulled over. They hit him with carrying concealed firearm, which is a felony, and open carrying of the rifle. So long story short, we worked out a plea deal where they dropped one of the charges, and he got a withhold, so no conviction on the other charges, and got 18 months probation. Okay. Jeez. In Florida, if you make it to the halfway part of your probation, so it's 18 months, if you make it to 9 months and you haven't violated your probation, you've paid all your fines, you completed all your public service hours, basically you're done, and the only thing is to wait out the rest of your probation. The statute says that you can file a motion with the court that says, I want to early terminate my probation. And as long as all those things are satisfied, again, all those other things are done, they have to terminate you. It literally says shall in the statute. So you get to the halfway point, you've done everything, they have to terminate you. So the person gets to the halfway point, I file a motion with the court to terminate probation. This particular court, and a lot of courts in Florida, they don't want to clog up their docket, so they don't give you a hearing. So they don't have you come to court and say, look, judge, she's done a great job, he's done a great job, they've got all their stuff done, terminate them, because they don't want to waste their time with that. So what they do is they send a little letter to the state attorney's office and the probation department that says, this person wants to early terminate. Do you agree or disagree? And it's a check box. Agree, disagree. And if either the state attorney, yeah, right. You want to go out? Yes or no? Right. So if either the state attorney or the probation department marks no, they don't terminate you. They just close your case. They deny it. You get an order in the mail that says denied, and you got to finish out the rest of your probation, despite the fact that the statute says they can't do it that way. Now, what's important about this case is the probation department marked no, and the only reason that they marked no, you want to guess why they marked no? Because it was a gun charge. Gun. Solely gun. No other reason. The person had done all of their stuff. They had not violated their probation. They were a model probationer. But because it was a gun charge, probation automatically marks no whenever they get one of those on a case that has anything to do with a gun, because they're anti-gun, just like state attorneys and prosecutors and most cops. So they mark no. So I get this order back that says, nope, denied. I know that they can't do it that way because the statute says shall.
Yep.
So then I file a motion that says, look, judge, I want a hearing on this matter. You're wrong. And here's the statute. And I quoted the statute in there. And I sent it to the court. Nothing. I have my assistant start calling the secretary of the judge. Hey, we need a hearing on this. The judge's assistant says, nope, the judge has made up her mind. You're not going to get a hearing on this. So I said, she can't do that. Has the judge read the motion yet? So basically the judicial assistant is like blocking me from getting to the judge. And I'm like, you can't do that. And so because my assistant is persistent, she kept calling and saying over and over again, you can't do this. Well, not to get morbid or anything on it, but my wife's name was the lawyer on that case, Betsy Young. So then the JA calls, the judicial assistant calls and says, well, I don't even know why Mr. Young's calling about this case because Betsy Young is the attorney on it. And why isn't she calling on it? And so then my assistant, who also happens to be our neighbor and a really good friend of my wife, of course, drops the bomb. Well, Miss Young died in October of breast cancer. And so her husband is now handling the case. And within 30 minutes, I was given my hearing time. So obviously they felt like shit and got guilted into giving me my hearing time. So I get my hearing time. I go to court and I walk up there and I'm all prepared, right? I got the statute out. I got everything good to go. I'm ready to go up there and do this. And the judge calls me up, and to the judge's credit, she says, you know what, Mr. Young, you're the first person ever to write a motion and cite that statute and tell me that my process was wrong. And I called probation and I said, do you have a reason other than firearm that you marked down there? And probation said no. And she said, I understand I can't do that and probation can't do that. So I'm going to grant your motion and terminate the probation, and your client is free to go. So you have to, the moral of the story is not to toot my own personal horn, but you have to have a lawyer for stuff, because if my client didn't have a lawyer, number one, they wouldn't have got the good deal they got in the first place, because I did get them to realize that you can open carry in a car. And number two, a lot of people just try and terminate on their own. So there's a little form that you can walk to the clerk's office as a defendant and say, I want to early terminate. And then the judge just sends a letter and gets the check box and then sends you a letter back that says, nope, denied. And they go, oh, well, I guess I'm screwed. Even other attorneys would have just given up at that point and said, nope, well, the judge denied it. Thank you for your, $800 or whatever you paid, and call it a day. So it's very important that people get lawyers whenever they have any court stuff, because as you see, even judges, they don't know the law. That's been the statute now for about 5 years, that you get automatic early termination. And in 5 years, that judge, and this was up in Tampa, so it's a big circuit, a lot of lawyers, that judge had never had a lawyer point out to her that her procedure was wrong and inconsistent with the state statute. And it goes to show it's always about guns, because if that had been like a petty theft or, you know, a drug charge, nobody would have gave a shit. Probation would have just marked agreed, and the prosecutor, because the prosecutor, to their credit, knew what the law is, and they didn't object. They said, we don't object to early termination. It was only probation, because I'm sure they have a mandate to not let gun charges get off early. So guns are very bad when it comes to that type of stuff, because they will automatically assume that you're a bad person and they will not let you off early. So it just demonstrates the importance that if you have a firearm charge, you need to get a lawyer. You need to get a good lawyer. You need to get one who actually knows about guns, because I had a sneaky suspicion that that's what was going to happen when I filed my charges. Now, I don't know what I would have done had they not granted me the hearing because of, you know, what they found out about my wife. They went ahead and granted me the hearing, but had they not done that and just stuck to their guns and said denied, my client would have had to file an appeal with the 2nd District Court up in Tampa and say, hey, this judge is refusing to give me a hearing. And then we would have had to go through the appeal process and get an order that says, yeah, you have to terminate them. But by the time that happened, their probation would have been done anyway, because it takes, you know, half a year or a year to get in front of a judge on an appeal case. And now you're looking at, you know, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 to do an appeal. So, you know, I guess thankfully, for whatever personal reasons, we were able to finally get a hearing. But that just goes to show you got to be careful about that stuff. If there's any crime that involves a gun, you're more likely to get arrested. You're more likely to get charged. You're probably almost more likely to get convicted. And you're certainly more likely to deal with that kind of bureaucracy nonsense when it comes to probation and, you know, some judges out there, because when it comes to guns, they just knee jerk to know on everything. So long story short, it worked out in the end. But moral of the story, make sure you have a lawyer who knows what the process is and is going to fight for you. Otherwise, you're going to be screwed.
Nice job, man.
So John Merck.
And the funny thing is had that happened about a month after the original charge, there wouldn't have been a crime at all, because the only crime was the sticking the gun under the seat, because that was literally a month before the law changed. And I tried to argue to the prosecutor. The judge didn't have a choice. The law was still the law at the time the crime was committed. But I tried to argue to the prosecutor, look, I understand maybe it was a crime at the time, but clearly the legislature and you know, the governor or whatever didn't have a problem with it, because they were going to change it. So why don't you just do the moral thing and drop the charges? And they refused to do it. They weren't going to drop it, even though it was clear that, you know, morally, I think they should have dropped it, but they didn't. In my mind, once that law changed, every prosecutor should have found every case that they currently had in their caseload that wouldn't have been a crime had that passed, and just out of moral, you know, turpitude or whatever, to drop all of those. Because like if they legalize marijuana today, like if you got arrested yesterday, it's not fair for you to get charged with the marijuana when, you know, today it's legal. So I think they should have gone back, and I'm not saying you go back into like people who've already pled and been sentenced to like overturn their stuff, but if it's pending and hasn't gone to trial yet, I think if a law changes like that, you should have a moral obligation as a prosecutor to go change all those. But I argued that till I was blue in my face, and they wouldn't change that. So they did, you know, change some of the charges around and come up with a reasonable plea offer. But yeah, so long story short, guns bad.
We got to get the wheel going, so we're going to spank our sponsors real quick. So once again, Johnny Custom Glocks, all right, for making the world's greatest Glock trigger. Sean Hilton for just being an awesome dude and making us these great giveaways.
Call Pirate.
Call Pirate when I'm done. Oh.
He wants to know if there's any matches.
I take any chance to toot my own horn.
We'll look at it.
Yeah.
All right.
Look at what?
So let's get the wheel up. Like, share, comment, because here comes the wheel. So get ready.
What's the deal? Spin the wheel.
Now on this notepad is now a fidget toy. Sean Hilton is a genius.
He is. Half of
Deal.
this
Spin the
like
wheel.
comments in,
Yeah.
and I had to log out of it and go back in, and it's like 30 comments.
All right. Well, anything good?
Nice.
53.
53 comments. How many people we got watching?
Right now, 15.
All right.
So,
All right. So we're going to get the wheel up in a second. I got to put my goggles on here so I can see. Dun, 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 dun. All right. I'm going to move me out of the way. There we go. Now I get the delay again, which will drive me crazy. So we're going to go. You got the list?
We got 3 people watching on YouTube, so hey, there you go.
How about that?
Thank
Things
you.
getting better. You're on your way to the top now, baby.
Well, I'm getting there.
What you do with the pen?
4.48K. It's crazy.
thank you.
That's insane.
Okay, thank you.
You're like Grand Thumb now. He's like 4.8 million.
I was
All
gonna
right,
say.
so what are we doing?
The mug.
We're going to do the mug first. We're going to mug it up. Now, look, you got to find out, you got to get their address if they win.
Okay.
All right? We're going to get a box so we can bring all Maria's stuff. We're ready.
Yep.
I've been ready.
Spin that shit.
Let's see if Sean Hilton wins. What's that?
The mug.
This is for the mug. So Sean can actually win this. Winner!
He won the last one, too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I don't know what you make of it. We're gonna have a collection now.
yeah.
That's right. I got a collection.
On Hill.
I got a collection, so we're even.
You can give them away. Next
right.
is the block.
Harvard's block. Here it is.
You can give them away for
Remember,
good advertising.
if Sean wins again, it's the name below him. So it's Sean, but who's below him? Kenny Johns. All right.
Kenny.
Kenny hasn't won in a while, right?
No.
All right, so he gets one. So make sure
Good.
he gets that. All right, now what?
Simulator chances.
All right, so this is for the first chance to win. You know, winning, you get a chance to win. An hour on the simulator.
Mhm.
Sean can win this too.
Mhm.
Cat.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Sean. Remember, Sean gets a chance to win on this.
Mhm.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Last chance.
Yep, one more time.
This is it. This is it.
Come on, Sean.
Oh, he snapped in there. Took it
Did
away
he win
from
all
Corey.
3 times, technically?
Yeah, he won 3 times.
Yeah, he hit all 3 times. He's only getting the one. Well, I guess he get 2 prizes, but yeah, he hit all 3 times.
So next week,
Clean sweep.
so next week will be Zildjian will be on Dr. Z, right? Conspiracy theory or fact. Just saying, right? And what we'll do, we will draw 2 more chances
Mhm.
to make it 8 people on the wheel. And then we will spin the 8-person wheel, and whoever wins gets a free hour, courtesy of the Self-Defense Emporium.
Mhm.
Yay,
Woo!
Self-Defense Emporium.
Yes. I forgot to tell you, pickles on.
Big up. I'm in Texas.
Mythical place that will open
You
soon.
want to see me
Did
shoot
the
friggin' AR with the recoil kit. Go ahead.
what are we doing next week? Contrails? Is that the conspiracy? Should people start reading up?
Contrail, is that what it is? I don't know.
Oh, that's what you guys said last time we were on here.
Yeah, but I was drunk last time. I want something
Oh, all
funny.
right, all right.
I gotta tell you, the did Trump, friggin' stage his own assassination was the best one we've done.
Oh yeah, of course. Of
All
course.
right, let me take a look at this.
All right. So like, share, comment,
I
like,
need
share,
to know.
comment.
I need to know the conspiracy so I can do my research and be able to argue one way or the
All
other.
right, well, I got a lesson with Mike tomorrow. I give him a lesson tomorrow. So I'll talk to him about it tomorrow. What's your day look like tomorrow?
Figure out what you want.
What's your day
I have
look like?
Fort Myers Court. I have Fort Myers Court at 9 in the morning.
What time you get out of there?
Probably 11 or 12. I'll be free in the afternoon.
Just give me a call when you're on your way back.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I'm headed out. But I'll be free in the afternoon. I might get out in time for lunch, depending on how fast court goes.
We're on a simulator. Ooh,
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
I don't keep no keep tomorrow.
Oh.
Right. That's right. So once again, I want to thank everybody for
we got the hint. All right, we're ready. Let's
supporting us, stuff like that. I can take a hint. All right.
All right, I know. All right.
So see you next week. All right. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. And don't forget to go over to YouTube. Check us out on Rumble.
With MGL. 5,000 subscribers by next week.
And we'll figure this out sooner or later. All right. So play music. Take us out. Peace. Thanks again.
Good night.